Today we're working on solving systems of equations by graphing. And a system of equation, first of all, is when we have two or more lines expressed in equations. And as you can see in this case, we have two equations for each graph. In this first case, we're going to work on y equals 1/4 x plus 3, and we're working on y equals 1/4 x minus 1. There's something different about those two equations, something that's different and something that's the same. It looks like to me, when we figure this out, we can use y equals mx plus b, which means our m is our slope and our y-intercept is our b. We have this m is lined up with our 1/4. So our m is our 1/4, and this is in equation 1. And b is equal to 3, which means we write it as the point 0.03. That's essential for graphing. When we have a y-intercept, we write it as a point 0.03. Why does it always have 0? Because it's a y-intercept. That means the point is always going to be on this y-intercept line, and the x-coordinate of any point on the y-intercept line is equal to 0. So as you can see, I've already plotted one point, and I'm going to go ahead and graph. This is rise over run, so we go up 1 and over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get our second point, we draw a line, and that's how it works for the first line. That's only line 1. I'm going to put line 1 there as our first line, okay? The second line, this is line 2, is we again have a quarter for our slope. In this case, we have b equals 0, -1. That means that we've got a point 0, -1 right there. And we draw a different color for this line. Line 2 is going to be going through the y-intercept 0, -1. And again, notice that that always has a 0 for our x-coordinate, and it is going to have -1 for the y-coordinate. And we're going to draw a line once we know the slope. The slope is 1/4. We go up 1 over 4, and our second line is right there. And we draw a line going through those 2 points. This is something, as you can see, a parallel line. Note that when we have the same slope, we have parallel lines. Well, what does that mean when it comes to solutions? Solutions are when two lines cross. And in this case, since the lines never cross, we write no solution. Simple as that. No solution to this system of equations. Now, that's when we have lines that never cross and when we have the same slope. Well, let's look at a question where we have lines that do cross because we have different slopes. And let's check it out down here. I'll pull this over to the side. And we have two equations. Y equals -1/2 plus 2. And y equals 3 over 2x minus 2. Equation 1, this m equals -1/2. B equals 2, which means we have the point 0.02. Equation 2, we've got m equal to 3 over 2. And our b equals -2, which means we go through the point 0, -2. In terms of graphing those two, let's do it. We've got 0, 2, so let's go ahead and draw that one. Can't really see that point, so we'll do that one again. 0, -2, or sorry, 0, 2. And then we go, now this is -1 over 2. So we're going to go down 1, right 2. We take the negative and make it go on the top part of the fraction, the numerator. Down 1 to the right 2, and we have our second point, and therefore we have our line going through there. This one over here has a y-intercept of -2, so we simply go ahead and plot that point, 0, -2. Oh, by the way, I'm kind of into sports this time of year. We've got playoffs, NBA and NHL. The NFL draft is happening. So I'm just going to mention a few names of players, and hopefully some of those ring a bell, and those can be clues. So Brent Holtby of the Washington Capitals plays hockey and is an amazing goalie. Moving right along. We've got this 0, 2 there, and now we go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then over 2. We go there. Now, I know all of you know the just retired LA Laker basketball, the one and only Kobe Bryant. So there you go. That's our point of intersection. Now, this is actually the solution to this system. 2, 1 is the solution, that very special point. is the solution to the system of equations. And there we go. So, anybody have any questions on that? That is a good example of one question with parallel lines. There's no solution. And then over here, we have a situation where the two lines cross, and we have one solution. The point is a solution. And as we know, sports, as I was just saying, Odell Beckham, New York Giants football, NFL, don't forget to put him down when you answer these in. And don't forget the one and only LA Ram, Jared Goff. On this question here, we're looking at a bit of a different setup for the equation of the line. They're both, as you notice, standard form of an equation, not y equals mx plus b, so it's not quite so simple. But you do have the tools to get it done. First of all, this would be line 1, 4x minus y. I'm going to write it again, 4x minus y equals 2. And in this case, I've got to figure out how to get y on its own. I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. I get negative y equals negative 4x plus 2. And to finish it off, I've got to divide by negative 1 on both sides because I've got to get this into the form y equals mx plus b form. All right? I'm going to leave that as a fraction, 4 over 1, because I want my slope to be a fraction. It makes it easier to do my rise over run. B equals negative 2. That means the point 0, negative 2. It's really easy. 0, negative 2. And then 4 over 1 means 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1 over. And I got my points. I got my line. 4 over 1. And B is negative 2. And there it is. Now, the second line, which is 4x minus y equals 1. I'm going to go ahead and write that down here. Second line, 4x minus y equals 1. And who is it that I'm thinking about in sports? I believe it is the good old Michael Jordan. You know him. Chicago Bulls of great fame in basketball. 4x minus y equals 1. And I would not want to forget our very own Palisades, Cameron Lewis. Woo! 4x minus y equals 1. We subtract 4x on both sides. We get minus y equals negative 4x plus 1. We divide by negative 1. And we end up with, Mike, are we seeing this? We almost went off screen there for a second. We got y equals 4 over 1x minus 1. And again, what we have is we're looking like we've got our very own same slope, meaning we're going to have parallel lines, no solution. So this is at negative 1 this time, and it's 4 over 1, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, and we have, it's kind of hard to draw, these lines are very close together, but they are going to be parallel lines, minus 4x plus 1. I'm sorry, the y-intercept is 0, 1. That makes it a little easier. I was kind of wondering. This is 0, positive 1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's negative 1 because we divided by negative 1. I was hoping that that was going to be a positive 1, but it isn't. Our y-intercept is minus 1, as I said. So 0, negative 1. And we have to graph that down here. It's parallel to this line. It's very hard to see that because they're very close together. And I'm going to do it freehand, but basically you get a parallel line because they have the same slope. So again, 4 over 1 was the slope for the first line, and 4 over 1 is the slope for the second line. They both have the same slope. There is no solution to this system of equations. So the only difference with this question and the other ones we've been doing is it's a little more work. You have to convert your ax plus by equals c, your standard form equation. You have to convert it and make sure you convert it right so that you have a y equals mx plus b form equation. Then you can graph it knowing the slope and the y-intercept. All set. Go Cameron.